So this session is designed to help you out and give you tips of a striker when you're playing around the halfway line. It's really frustrating if a team finally wins possession, especially if they're playing a low block. They give it up to the forwards and possession is coughed up straight away. So it's very important that you try and relieve pressure from your teammates by learning some good habits, holding the ball up, and not only that, but releasing teammates, bringing others into the attack, and just being that really strong point person. All right, and then the session will be, basically you're gonna have a center back behind you, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on, we're releasing the ball into the striker, we're gonna work on movements, on you holding the ball up, holding the defender off, and playing, imagine their flags of fullbacks, playing in behind that fullback. Good, check off, good. Working on a phase where the defending team might win the ball or they're building up and the striker needs to hold off the defender in their own half. It's a really important position, an area for the striker, especially if they're relieving pressure from the opposition. So we need the striker to be strong, to be knowledgeable about his role, and also to have the correct body shape, and to be a threat as well and bring teammates into the play. So it's a lot to ask the striker, so we're gonna try and break it down here. Okay, so we start with Ethan, our midfielder. Ethan, let's play. Yep. Yes. Yes. Good, and we're gonna go again, and this time we'll alternate the right side. Off you go, Ethan. Play him again, nice firm pass, bud. Yes. Good. That we want to avoid when being a striker is to receive flat. Okay, so defenders are normally physical, they're aggressive, especially at this stage of the half. They're not going to want to allow you space and time. So if he's up my back, I want to have a better foundation. So I mustn't be flat like this with my feet. Okay, he's going to push me. So straight away, I want a strong base, which you've seen Brian, kind of 1 foot forward, 1 foot back is good. And that's what we want for a striker. Then we've got to create space. So I'm using my arm, and now I've just created double the amount of space with my arm, and hopefully now trying to receive on my front foot. If I receive on my back foot, pass me a ball in, Ethan. If I receive on my back foot or my furthest foot from the ball, he can get it. I'm showing him the ball, or he might come through the back of me, and I certainly don't want that. Okay, so Brian is really good at creating space, trying to receive on that front foot. Keep watching. So basic hold-up play, especially when he's pretty tight. Now let's advance it and elevate this a little bit. So now, what we're looking for Brian now is just to create a little bit more of a dynamic check-off to receive. Again, just trying to create space and move defenders around. So, and this is about timing. It's so crucial. So as I see my midfielder's head coming up, I'm going to start pushing this guy out and checking in. Okay, so if you see the midfielder, ball is rolling across, good. I'm pushing him out, and now I'm checking in, yes. And as you can see, not only have I created that space on my arm and my front foot now, but now I'm creating space with the checked off movement. It goes one way and the other. And you see this in many sports, whether it be hockey, lacrosse, football. You see that action to create space. So now let's see that, Brian. Good. And as you can see, with that extra check off, he was not only able to get there first, but he was actually able to touch around the corner forward with his left foot, which is his strong foot. Great. Let's do a few more. And last one. The next one that we want to do, and this is really helpful to any striker that maybe is a little smaller or doesn't have the strength to hold off the defender. And what that wants to be is where we're checking off in different places, maybe to get on the corner and to the side. So there's two areas that we want to focus if you're relying on speed, center of gravity, and checking off in and around. Okay, so now as the ball is, again, the timing is crucial. As the ball goes into the other midfielder, and we want our midfielder to try and play forward, I'm going to take this guy on a bit of a wander. I'm going to take him away. I'm going to take him out of his comfort zone. Maybe your strikers cross paths. And then I'm going to make that move. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get on the side of him. Okay? So as the ball comes across, Ethan, play it. Good. Now I'm trying to get across, and maybe I come on the side of the midfielder. Okay? Or maybe I check in to the... in between the lines, which is just behind the midfield. So now I'm not just working in the vicinity of the defender, I'm working in and around the centre-backs. Yes. Yes. And good. Okay, so Ethan, if you get in there now, I want you to do pretty much exactly the same, Brian. Ethan, I want you to go on the other cone as a second striker. So now what this is going to do, it's going to open up a space for Ethan to run in behind. Okay, so now we're moving that centre back out. It'll leave an isolated situation, 1v1 at the back on the other defender with Ethan, and he's going to make that move to run inside. Okay, ready, go. Good. And stop there. Good, well done. So that offers us an opportunity, and what we might do there as well, Brian, go back to where you were. And this is the other thing that we won't have a big focus on today, because that's about attacking midfielders or playing the 10 role, is the opportunity for the other striker or attacking midfielder. If Brian has took him away, I can look at getting in behind, okay, or Ethan in this case. So as the ball is with the midfielder, now I'm either going to move away and take away that other defender and look to get in behind with a long ball, or if Brian checks him in there, I'm going to go in behind Brian's space and attack that one. And again, when the defense is pretty high like this and we're trying to counter-attack, opposite movement between the strikers is crucial. The last one is I want to do the rolling. So Brian, back there with Jackson. Ethan, you're back over there, buddy. Okay, so conversely, if the guy's a big guy in terms of the striker, if you're physical and that's your traits, that's your habits, then you can use that to your advantage 100%. So if Jackson is on me, he's a defender, doesn't matter what size he is, but I'm big and I'm strong and I'm really confident in my ability to hold off guys. What you're gonna get is some defenders might just stick to you because maybe they're scared of you, they don't want you to be released and they don't want you to have success in time and space. So you can use that. So come in and I'm gonna make him stick to me, I'm gonna make him stick. Ball in, please, midfielder. Ball in, please give me that ball in. And what we're gonna do there is we're gonna roll, okay? And there's lots of ways you can roll. And players like Harry Kane, Lukaku are experts at this. You might roll across your body, ball in again, Gabe. You might roll across your body like this, but again, you have to kind of switch feet. Or you might roll as we showed before with the foot out. Okay, so rolling a defender, very good tool to use, but you got to have the characteristics to do it. So now we're going to advance up the field. So we've broken to the final third, we've put the ball out wide, and now we're going to talk about what are the next steps as you're approaching that 18-yard area, which obviously is critical for putting the ball in the back of the net. Okay, so midfielders, what we're going to do, we're going to alternate each side. When the winger checks off, they're going to check off about 5 yards, get their body shape facing forward, attack the winger, and then we're looking for a cross and finish off Brian. Let's have a little demo. Off we go. Okay, let's have game speed. Game speed. I want you to drive at him as if you're playing a game. Gabe will go out that side, nail the ball. Joe. Drive. Yeah, good. Okay, back to the start, please. The situation we have here is a 1v1 situation with the striker and defender. Now, as soon as the ball goes out wide, this is where you have to get to work, striker. So, Ethan, if you can ping the ball out wide to the checked off winger. Good, and just stop there, Joe. Just take it back a few, Joe. Now, as soon as he takes that guy on, he's going to do, as a good winger should, he's going to do a big touch to the outside or inside. So take that guy on, Joe, and then just stop. Big touch out your feet, buddy. Okay, as soon as the big touch is done out the feet, every attacker's then going to look up. As soon as he looks up into the box, that's when it's your time to give information to the forward. Okay, so as soon as he steps up, I'm giving him information. So Brian, I want you to show him, tell him where you want the ball. So it might be front post, so you might go there. Okay, so there's the information, and the winger's probably going to get like 5, 6 pieces of information. As soon as he does that, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the defender the opposite way. And all this has to happen in 1 or 2 seconds. So I've done that. Now he puts his head down, and now I'm going to take my defender away. I'm going to take my defender away, and as he approaches, I'm going to get there to where I've asked for the ball. Okay, and hopefully that can give us a finish. Good, head up, good. Okay, and just stop there. So a really good movement from Brian, took the defender one way, got to the ball first. The next step we've got to take there is trying to get in the frame of the goal. Okay, Brian, so really nice movement, and you open your body out to try and finish there, but because we're outside of the frame of the goal, I'm not saying that's not impossible. Goals are scored like that often, but it is harder. Okay, it requires a bit more of a deft touch and a harder technique. But if you can work in the frame of the goal, again, Lewandowski, Harry Kane, those guys live in this frame of the goal. Try and get in this frame of the goal, and then it's just going to take less effort to put that ball on target. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, great. So what we've seen there, we've seen Brian loosen, get in the frame of the goal, and get contact on the ball. So now what we're after is your shot selection in here. Any ball bobbling up in the area requires downward, or at least through the middle, power and momentum and contact to the ball, or it's going to go high just like it did there. So we're trying to get, let me get a ball. So as that ball is popping up, Brian, come here. We are looking to get that knee over the ball, your chin, your nose, everything moving forward, almost in a line, and getting down on that ball for contact. It's very important, and the best strikers in the world, they choose the right selection of technique at the right time and do it with precision, but it all is slowed down in their head to make sure they make the right decision. Good, Ethan. Beautiful. Good job. Well done. Yeah, excellent. Really good. So what I really like about this one, the guys improvised, because Brian went back post, decided to elect to go back post. Isaac had the information. He was told it and he was shown it. So he put height on the ball. And that's a critical relationship point between you and your wingers and your forwards. Because realistically, a flat ball is going to be hard. It's going to be taken out by the defenders, especially in the 6. So the only way to get that across for success was a high ball, and we wouldn't have got there without that communication. Yeah, excellent. Really good. Opened your body out nice. So now, as you can see, because Brian was more in the frame of the goal, because he created space and lost his man, he could afford here to actually open that body out, use his prominent foot for a nice side foot controlled effort. And that's what it is. It's about setting yourself up for success in the box. So you can make sure you got the right body shape, you've lost your defender, and you're using the right technique. So now we're going to talk about the business end of the field. We want to get this guy scoring goals. So whenever you're on the box, every striker should be thinking, hey, I've done my work, I've done all my unselfish runs, this is where I'm going to earn my money and I'm going to hit the back of the net. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, you're going to have a defender, obviously, at their most focused, well, they should be, at their most aggressive, trying to get all over you and do everything they can to stop you scoring. So you need speed of thought, speed of play, and you need to be deadly. Okay, so what we're looking for here, and the young guys are way better than me at this, We're looking for a quick flick, a quick touch. All you need is a glint of light of space, half a yard, and we want a quick shot in one of the corners. Okay? Think we can do that, Bri? And once again, good habits. We're getting hold, we're checking off, we're making sure you don't need to be looking around here. You haven't got the time for that. You know where the goal is, you're a striker. Okay, so checking off, holding him off, using that front foot. The back foot right now, we're going to talk about this, but the back foot, the furthest foot away, is fragile right now because it's right where he is. But we're going to use it, we're going to get to that. So we'll just alternate, give him a solid pass so he can flick it. Good. So let's have a real check off, Brian. Let's bang, bang, in there.
Turn. Yes.
Yeah.
Not too hard in.
So this little flick, you see it more and more in the game now, where strikers are not just big traditional centre forwards, but they have really good feet as well. I mean, you look at Alfinger Haaland, where almost a hybrid of a player. So these little flicks around the corner and very little back flip, hitting a hard shot, that's what we're looking for here.
Yes.
Good. So as you can see there, Brian, he really turned his hips one way, went the other, adding that deceptive piece, which is another layer of creativity, losing the defender. So what we're going to do now, and we're going to play on the left side here, is using the frame of your body to protect the ball. And this is where you might receive it on the back foot. So if you get it down one of the side channels, so midfielder plays in, now you might protect, and as you do that, you must protect with your arm and your frame and your butt and your leg. Protect that ball, and that first touch has got to set you up to strike that ball because you won't get many more touches. So once again, I'm being tailed, but I'm protecting with the frame of my body, and then I can finish. Yeah, check it out. Yeah. What you see a lot in the modern game today, especially with possession-based teams, is the set. The set is where you're just killing the ball for another teammate and then creating space. But it is developed to be a platform for oncoming players because there's a ton of attacking midfielders and inverted wingers that really provide that attacking options now. So what we're looking for now here, we're looking for the striker to set the ball, combine with the midfielders, but still having that selfish mentality of going into space and getting on the shoulder or in behind of the centre-back. Well, okay, so now we're going to come through the centre. Actually, we'll go from Gabe. We're going to come from the centre, but again, good habits. We're feeling around, creating our distance, using our sixth sense, and then we're checking off. Yep. And this is where you can use either foot as long as you create that distance. So I'm going to try and use my back foot because that's how I set the ball. Check, yes. Set, and now it's up to us where we create the space. I can turn away this defender, take him with me over here, and what that's going to do, it's going to really allow an opportunity for Gabe to either get a shot off or play a winger in or my partner forward. What I can also do, let's go back again, what I can also do is check off, just kill the ball here and then create space for myself, open up that channel and really try and finish myself. Again, selfish mentality. You see my movement, and these are the details that we need to get right. My movement is not, pass the ball, is not set and run away. My movement is set and jog back and open up that channel here between me and the defender. And that gives Gabe a window to pop the ball down. I've made my own line, and then now it's all about selection of shot and putting it away.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, very good. Really good.
Yes, don't. Yes, yes, Brian, men on, go.
Really good. What we'll do now, I'm just going to go through some very important but kind of high-level habits on holding off a defender. Okay, so drives me nuts when I see young players stood like this, as we've mentioned. and they'll just get followed around, and it doesn't matter what position. I see this all the time. Fullbacks, defenders, they just let them hang on to this. Okay? Kids, you've got to start protecting your area, like most contact sports, protecting your area. Now, and the higher level you go, the more detailed it gets. So, if I do this, and I just put my fingers out there, and it's a floppy arm, it's not good enough. And in fact, push my arm down, it's easily pushed down. Okay, so a couple of things. Make a fist, and make sure you protect and you're strong. And you're not going to be able to hold this position for 20, 30, 40 seconds because something's going to have to happen, and action will change. However, for that 3 to 5 seconds, that will be enough. Second thing, if that's not working for whatever reason, and again, it's about finding what works for you, the hip. Marking the hip and using that to protect, especially a push past, is also a useful tool to have. And then finally, for you small, stocky, low center gravity players, use what I call the swim. You're trying to get by a guy, and maybe they're as quick as you, maybe they're too strong. You must use the swim. Get by them by, just come next to me, bud. Get by them by swimming past them. If they're just staying with you, really annoying, get by them by swimming past them. It's fine, that happens, that's all part of your journey. We have to get used to it. Okay, so take a buddy, take a sibling, and you don't have to go crazy rough with each other, but just get used to making contact with your fellow peers, because it's important. Because when you go and play in opposition, they won't care who you are, they're going to push you around, shove you around, and it'll really prep you for higher level adult play. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you can make the next one, which is May 30th, about the central midfielder, which again, key component in soccer that has evolved over time. So it's good to get an understanding of what's new, what's not, some of the pitfalls you can avoid, and what are the things that you can enhance. Check us out on our website, matchdaypi.com. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, matchdaypi. All the info is right there on your screen. Check us out and look forward to seeing you next time.